Day destroys the night, night divides the day. You cannot run, you cannot hide, break on through to the other side. Hi again. Right, so we made some progress again. We have now implemented shooting. Woo! I can make bullets happen. Yay! So yes, you can even shoot enemies. So that's good. Actually, I kind of wanted to talk about this a bit because, as I mentioned before, I've been following a tutorial for this, and I implemented the shooting mechanics slightly differently to how the tutorial had you implement it, which I thought would be a good overview of how to do some object-oriented stuff, which I know quite a lot of Unity tutorials don't really go into. So I thought I'd have a go at showing you that. So what we've got here is the player controller. So I'm just going to disable the firing mechanic here. So if we run this now, we can still shoot. Why can we still shoot? That's a good question. Okay, try that again. Take two. Hopefully this time it actually works. I think I've got to save it. Oop, shit. Right. I hate you so much. Right, there we go. Yes, I've got to save it. So, as you can see, now we can't actually shoot anything, which is a bit annoying. So the tutorial that I've been following was implement this game object, bullet object. You can see this on the player here. So we got our bullet object. It then said if we're firing, so this checks the get button jump, because for some reason jump is spacebar. You can change that, but I haven't got around to it yet. And the cooldown timer is less than or equal to 0. So here we would implement shooting. This is relatively straightforward, so we basically instantiate a new bullet object. We want to save this into a variable. Not bullet object. Sorry, C# confuses the hell out of me because it likes capitalizing things that really shouldn't be capitalized, but whatever. Now we can get a vector free of the bullet position. So we got our vector free. Now what we need to do is set the bullet position x coordinate to our x coordinate. Set the bullet position's y coordinate to our y coordinate. And then we need to set the actual position on the bullet object to the new bullet position. And then we could do something with the cooldown timer, but I'll just leave that as is for now. So now if we run this, we should theoretically not be be able to fire anything. Why can't we fire things? Ah, there we go. So we can now fire things. Obviously we get quite a string of bullets because there's no actual cooldown on this, so we can just like do that over and over again. This is cool, but it's not the actual best way of doing this. I will try to explain. So rather than instantiating the bullet within the player itself, because what I actually wanted was two guns. As you can see here, this art asset that I've downloaded has like 4 different turrets on it. So what I did was I created a game object called turret and duplicated it and positioned it where I wanted it. Now, rather than implementing the fire mechanic on the player, what I did, open this up a bit further, is I implemented this gun control script. Now this does exactly the same thing as the player controller did. It basically has a cooldown, checks if the cooldown is greater than 0 on the update. If it is, it decreases it until we get to like a nice 0 number or less than 0 number. Now we've got this fire procedure here. So this says if the cooldown timer is less than or equal to 0, we instantiate the bullet object, we set this variable to the position of the bullet, set this one to the position of the player, x and y equal x and y, and then we do something with the rotation, basically to make it point in the correct place. So as you saw when I was playing there, it just always went up, which isn't exactly what we want. We want it to fire in the direction of the player. So we set its rotation, and then we set the cooldown timer to the fire delay, which stops us firing continuously. Now, if we go back to Unity, you'll see this as the bullet object. So if we go on the player, what I've done is I've got this array of gun controllers, which is my guns, and these are set on the player. You can see them here, if Unity would actually work. So we've got our 2 turrets in the player, set against this guns object. So turret 1, turret 2. Now, instead of creating our bullet in the player object, what we do is we check if we are firing, and then if we are firing, we go through each of the gun controllers and then fire. This then activates this little procedure here on each of our guns. Now if I resave this and Unity decides to play the game, you'll see we can fire. Now you may be asking, what's the point in doing it this way instead of the other way? Like, we could theoretically create 2 bullet objects on the player and then basically use this. Now the good thing about this way of doing it is essentially, if I wanted to, what I could do is duplicate this turret, say add it to my other gun here, play. Ooh, actually forgot to do something. It's not a full video log series unless you forget to do things halfway through. So now we drag this turret into our guns array, press play. Now we have 3 bullets firing, and we can basically do this as many turrets as we want without writing any more code for our guns to control. The even better part is we could theoretically, which is what I will be doing later, is add this exact same gun control script to our enemies, and then they can also fire. So it makes a nice improvement, because basically we don't have to write any new code in order to implement the firing mechanic, and obviously the enemy controller will be implemented slightly differently. It won't work on the spacebar, but for all intents and purposes it's exactly the same code as the player script. It gets even more fun when you think, if I wanted to implement new bullet types in the future, I can just assign a new bullet type to each of these turrets and then have my guns fire whichever bullets I like. And once again, that's without any additional code, it just works. This is one of the reasons we kind of like doing object oriented stuff, object orientation stuff. It basically reduces coding time, so for like a little bit of forethought you can actually have some nice, well, it will save you time in the long run, so put a bit of forethought in and it will save you time. Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. Don't know if anyone else agrees, but that's me all over. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I got done yesterday, hoping to get some more done today. Maybe we'll try and get our enemies to actually shoot things and move around. That would be interesting. Until then, see you later. Bye.